A mega rioter and member of the Proud Boys is headed back to jail after admitting on public television that he would just do it again. And of course, arguing with the judge. So now earlier this month, Josh Pruitt had made some comments on CNN, about, hey, as far as going to the protest on January 6th and doing what I did, I might do it again. Yeah, I might do it again. Now, that caused federal prosecutors to revoke his pretrial release. I want to show you those comments here, and then we'll break it down.
Some are expressing remorse for being a part of the violent mob.
It's like if you ask me if I do it again, I want to say yes, but then I question in the back of my head, would I?
Former Proud Boy Josh Pruitt describes his past year as an emotional train wreck.
I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but knowing the consequences that came out of it would be the part that would make me question it.
Prosecutors have laid out an array of video as evidence against him. Pruitt can be seen confronting Capitol police officers after walking in through the shattered front doors. And inside the Capitol crypt, Pruitt is caught smashing a sign. All of it leading to 8 federal charges against him, including counts for destruction of government property and acts of physical violence. But Pruitt defends his actions that day, clinging to the big lie that former President Donald Trump continues to spread and saying he has no plans to plead guilty.
I was just a patriot out there, protesting against what I think is a stolen election. Trying to send me to prison for a few years over this, I think, is a complete joke.
Really? Fantastic. So now, those were the comments that he made. And so, the prosecutors, they saw that and were like, well, gee, he doesn't really seem to be all that remorseful for what he did. Weird that he would go on television and then just be like, yeah, crime, of course I'd do the crime again. I mean, well, if they're actually going to do consequences, then I might think about it, because other than that, I think that what I did was perfectly fine, great, dandy. Oh, okay, well, great. Then why should we let you go? Why should the court let you go? It's ridiculous, right? Now, there's actually more than just him going out on television and saying stupid things. He also had apparently violated his curfew numerous times, had threatened other people, including his ex-girlfriend, on social media, and violated his probation in non-January 6th related cases. Stand-up guy. Wow. Well done. So now Pruitt's attorney, he made a ridiculous argument and said, well, those curfew violations, it's because, well, he couldn't get a ride home from work. I mean, what are you going to do if you can't get a ride? You have to go and threaten and assault your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, of course, that's what everybody does when they can't get a ride home. You threaten them. No, that's not what normal people do. Seriously. No, not at all. Look, this is according to reports from BuzzFeed News' Zoe Tillman, who actually talked about this, covered it from the courtroom. So here's what she said. On that excuse, the judge was not buying it. Quote, I just don't believe that he repeatedly is out there in the middle of the night for reasons that are beyond his control. And also noted that it wasn't the first time Pruitt had been admonished to comply with curfew and restrictions on his movement. Isn't it amazing that all of these people, first of all, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. What are you talking about? I never do anything wrong. Didn't do anything wrong. Would probably do it again. And then goes out and continuously breaks curfew and still is like, what are you doing? How dare you punish me? How dare you hold me accountable for any of the things that I've done? What are you talking about? How dare you? How dare you? It's amazing. The privilege, the caucasity of this entire situation. And now, his lawyer also said, well, those comments to CNN, he was just referring to the protesting generally at the Capitol, not the him breaking into the building, going in there, smashing things, and all that. I mean, come on, right? Why would you think that I would say something like that? How stupid do you think I am? Really stupid. I mean, you've done some pretty dumb things. And again, the judge did not buy it. Although he did point out something interesting. He said this: "It wouldn't be the first time CNN took something out of context and didn't portray something accurately," according to the Judge Tillman. And so, look, hey, that's fair. We've certainly, held CNN and other places accountable when they do that, and certainly they have made mistakes. But you watch the video itself. He didn't say, "Oh yeah, no, the protest totally fine." He said, "I didn't do anything wrong. I'm a patriot." And it's really hard to take that out of context. But again, you heard, I do it again. I'm a patriot. Stolen election, big lie, all of that. Add into it the other stuff, and this guy's an actual danger, to his community. And as such, Judge Kelly ordered Pruitt to return to jail, giving him until January 18th to self-surrender in order to give him time to wrap up his affairs. But then added, "You're not going to be able to work." Now, after that, that's when things actually went off the rails during the court hearing. Now, according to Tillman, Pruitt then interjected and threatened to go back on CNN and accuse the judge of violating his First Amendment rights to free speech. No, so here's how that works. Okay, now free speech, yeah, you can go out and you can say things, right? But that doesn't protect you from consequences of that speech. So now in this case, there is a federal case against him for being an insurrectionist on January 6th. And so this guy goes out and says, "Of course I would do January 6th again," when he has a pending case against him. And then goes, "Oh my God, how dare the prosecutors take the thing that I openly admitted on national television and use that against me to keep me in pretrial detention." What? Guy should have taken the Fifth. I mean, again, that's why you have the Fifth Amendment, to not, incriminate yourself. And this guy comes out and says, he goes out and incriminates himself. He says, yes, of course I'd do it again. The best people, the greatest people, the smartest people. My God. Now, there's more. Now, Pruitt then would continue to interrupt the judge as they were talking about process, leading prosecutors to question whether or not he will actually self-surrender. Pruitt insisted that he would, and Kelly told him that he would face a much bigger problem if he did not surrender. After Pruitt interrupted Kelly again, the judge raised his voice and told him, quote, that he abused the system, and that's why they're here. But it gets better. See, it wasn't just enough to interrupt the judge. He also then used the public phone line to then do commentary on his own case. Oh, that's fun. Tillman reported, Pruitt has apparently just discovered the public line, asks why that exists. Everyone continues to ignore him at this point as they continue to discuss logistics. At the very end, Pruitt says something I can't fully make out, but I hear the phrases law-abiding citizen and unlike the BLM piece of shit, and then the automated voice in the public access line says goodbye, and that's a wrap. BLM, let's bring up the BLM. Yes, of course. Of course. No. What are you talking about? I broke into the Capitol building, and I was with the group that helped fight police. and do all that stuff and try to hunt down Nancy Pelosi and do whatever, God knows what to her, okay, and overturn the results of a legitimate election. And yet, I'm the law-abiding one, and it's the BLM, the Black Lives Matter people. That's the real problem. Those are the real criminals. You know, because they're black, obviously. What right-wing Chud defense is, complete without some mention of Antifa or Black Lives Matter? You realize 93% of all BLM protests were overwhelmingly peaceful. Were there riots? Of course. I don't dispute that. Were there, clashes with police? I don't dispute any of that. Were there things that got set on fire? Yes, that did happen. Did entire cities burn down? No. Were some clashes actually started by police or right-wing provocateurs? Yes. Was there looting by opportunists taking advantage of the situation? Absolutely. All of these things happen. Overwhelmingly, though, Black Lives Matter was peaceful, overwhelmingly peaceful. But no, the right wing, they're like, the BLM, they're the real criminals. They're real criminals. No, yes. And yet, when Chuds get together in large groups, well, one, they not only attempt to kidnap the governor of Michigan, but also decided to storm the Capitol building over a nonsense lie. But they're the criminals. Yeah, they're the criminals. Now, by the way, speaking of criminals, Pruitt has quite the rap sheet on him. In fact, he has 19 prior arrests and 8 convictions, and was even on probation and wearing an ankle monitor while storming the Capitol building. Now, how stupid do you have to be on probation, to have an ankle monitor where they know they can track where you're at, and to storm the Capitol building anyway? No, I was doing the right thing. Patriot, law-abiding citizen, while literally breaking the law, while breaking your probation. But it's BLM that's the real criminals. Come on. Absolute ridiculousness. What an absolute dumbass chud.